What's up, guys? PrinceAssassin SZP here, coming to you straight from the Spider Zone. Now, while making the last video about what I expect to see from the Shazam movie, with the DCCU, I had another thought. And that thought was actually about the Spider-Man's movie, since he's my second favorite, or my first favorite next to Shazam, you know, superhero. He's my favorite superhero, Spider-Man is. So I thought, what I want to see from the new Spectacular Spider-Man movies over at Marvel got me thinking. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what I think about and what I'm going to expect to see from these movies. Like, after watching, Sam Raimi's, then watching Michael, what was his name? Mark Webb's, his movies, it's just like, I'm getting fed up with these Spider-Man movies. Now, me, since I'm a big fanboy of Spider-Man, it's very easy to impress me. Just seeing Spider-Man on screen, doing the things that he does, making jokes, making laughs, having Mary Jane there, all that stuff is great. But now I'm getting to a point where I'm like, I'm at the cap right now. I'm at the freaking cap of what I can take from a Spider-Man movie. After seeing what I saw in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, originally I liked the movie, but then when I started to watch it over and over again, I started to realize it was missing something. That key element that was in the first Amazing Spider-Man movie, that key element was consistency. God damn it, consistency. And the first one, you felt like Spider-Man actually went through the process of becoming the Spider-Man. And the second one, it felt like a complete detachment. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this? What am I watching here? This is not Spider-Man 2. This is Spider-Man 2 if it wanted to be the first one. This shit sucks. And it made me mad. And Green Goblin, don't even get me started. Green Goblin's one of my favorite villains from Marvel. And just seeing him be Harry Osborn and the Harry Osborn coming in and not really even having a full origin story of what happened. It was just like we're supposed to ultimately accept that he's Peter Parker's best friend after not seeing it at all, nothing at all, no freaking back flashbacks or nothing like that to tell us that he was his best friend. We're just supposed to assume that these guys are best friends. If I haven't seen a friend of mine that I hung out with when I was like 5 or 10, 8 years old or whatever, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, we're best friends. We were friends as a kid. You went away. Now we're supposed to just press play on the freaking friendship? No, I want to get to know you again. What did you go through? Stuff like that. Not, I saw you in a freaking magazine. You dated this British chick. No, that fucking shit sucks. So now you guys got me riled up. I'm heated. I'm almost livid right now. Look, the new Spectacular Spider-Man movies. First things first, they're already doing something right. I've read some reports that they're going back to the high school Peter Parker. Yes, just yes. That was number one on my list. But since they're already doing it, I have no reason to even dive into that shit. Just yes, they're doing it right in that aspect. Next thing they need to do not, and I repeat, do not do Harry Osborn Green Goblin. Don't even do Green Goblin. Just don't do Green Goblin at all. Just stop the presses there. Just stop it. Don't do it. Now, see, this is the thing I like about the MCU. They don't use the source material to the fullest extent. Meaning, the origin story of a character is not really the origin story of the character, if that makes sense. Like, the first villain they fight isn't the first villain. Captain America, his first villain was Red Skull. Yes, he fought him. And, Thor's first villain was not a freaking monster, a metal machine. Like, they use what they want to use. And with Spider-Man, they can do the exact same thing. You don't need to do Dr. Octopus, or no, let me rephrase that. You don't need to do Green Goblin. You don't need to do the Lizard, just like the other two Spider-Man movies did. Green Goblin in the first Sam Raimi was good, but it was not Green Goblin to me, and I actually hated that aspect about that movie. So I was really getting into comics back then. I'm just like, fuck that. That's just terrible. But now Spider-Man's back home, so now Marvel has the chance to do it right. First villain I think they should use? This is very hard for me to choose, but I say go with someone obscure. Go with let me just say go with the Kingpin. They're like this is what I think they should do. Go with the Kingpin. The Kingpin is a Marvel character, but a New York character, a New York villain, so to speak. He's a character that could be like a sub villain for all of New York's bad heroes. The Daredevil show is coming up with the new Defenders mini series like Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, and Daredevil. And that's going to have the Kingpin be the forefront. Spider-Man really, in the comics beforehand, before this whole, Sony deal split happened, he was a big part of, the New York scene. He only stayed in New York. He was never like a villain or a hero that was with the Avengers. which is why I think they should keep that aspect. Keep Spider-Man low level, the superhero that's only in school. He's just that. Just keep him in school. Keep him fighting the Kingpin with Daredevil, Iron Fist, and all those guys. Have those guys make cameos because those are like his buddies. Those are his like normal day friends, his day to day friends, the guys that he hang out with the most. Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, all those guys. If you guys watch the Ultimate Spider-Man TV show, that's basically how Spider-Man's universe should be. Him with his friends, not like throughout the whole movie, just like have like little scenes of him helping them out or them helping him out back and forth, witty banter and all that stuff. That's his scene. Kingpin should be his first villain. But Kingpin shouldn't just be Kingpin because Kingpin's not really a fighter. He's a figurehead who sends guys off to do his bidding. His bidding? Yes, his bidding. The guy he should freaking use as like his main henchman is Shocker. We haven't seen Shocker yet. He's one of the best Spider-Man villains. The funniest, I just want to see Spider-Man and Shocker go back and forth with their banter. Like Shocker, let's say Kingpin gives Shocker the material or the tools to become the Shocker, those blast gauntlets. Give Shocker those, and that's basically what it does. Spider-Man has to fight Shocker throughout the movie, and then, he also has to fight Kingpin, but he needs help because Kingpin uses some of the people from the, TV series that Daredevil and all those guys have to fight Spider-Man, and Spider-Man needs a little bit of help. So you bring in Daredevil, which I hope they do. Like, they bring in Daredevil to help him out. They bring in, like, Iron Fist. They use, you don't need all those guys. Just use, Iron Fist and maybe Daredevil, those two. You don't need all four of them. Daredevil and Iron Fist use those guys to help Spider-Man defeat Shocker, Kingpin, and some other guys that they introduced. Spider-Man is like that lot. He's the perfect connector between the Avengers world and, like, the Netflix Defenders world. Avengers world and the Defenders world. He's that perfect, bridge between the two worlds. And I think they should use that. Use Spider-Man to bring those characters up, and use Spider-Man also to like bring the Avengers characters down. Like Spider-Man can have like the most diverse freaking movies of all time. Like his character is that special to me. That's why I like Spider-Man. He could be a big character when he wants to be, or a small time character. And please, like another thing I want them to do is bring back J. Jonah Jameson. Like he was missing from the Amazing Spider-Man world. They had him in like a text message in the second one. Wrong. No, that was wrong. That was completely wrong. I want him full throttle in the movie. He needs to be the guy antagonizing Spider-Man throughout the movie. Every good that Spider-Man does, he says that's bullshit. He's wrong. He's the menace. He's the guy that's messing us up. He's the reason why New York is so bad. They can't. Well, since the Battle of New York happened, they got a lot of explaining to do, which I'm pretty sure they're going to do early on, like in Civil War or whatever. But just bring back J. Jonah Jameson. Have him be like a guy. You don't have to introduce like everything. Like, this is the thing. They don't have to say, oh, everybody, where was them doing the Battle of New York? Where was Spider-Man during the Battle of New York? Where was all these characters? Just have Spider-Man's origin take place after Avengers Age of Ultron. Or I think what they're going to do is have Age of Ultron have his end credit scene be Spider-Man. I hope they're going to do that. I think they're going to do that. And I'm pretty sure, like I'm on edge about that, but I think that's what they're going to do. Spider-Man doesn't have to be introduced during the Battle of New York. They don't have to have that. That doesn't need to be a thing that happens. Where was Ant-Man during the Battle of New York? Where was Doctor Strange? Where are all these characters? They weren't there because they weren't developed yet. They weren't a mainstay in the Marvel world, or they didn't have a place. They weren't needed. The story didn't need them. Spider-Man just have his origin take place after Age of Ultron, saying that he's the new hero from this time going on, and maybe the event of the Battle of New York was the thing that caused Spider-Man to get his powers. Like he's in the building, and he's studying, he's looking around, the showcase of the spiders, and something happens. Boom! A big explosion happens. He gets bitten by a spider, just waiting in like a lobby or something. And like he's just sitting there, and he's trying to hide himself. He's like, I'm afraid. I can't do this. This is crazy. And boom, a spider bites him because it escapes because of what happened in New York. He was like during that time. So that's perfect right there. Or the event of Age of Ultron. Something happens in the city. He's, scared. He's hiding, and boom, he gets bit by the spider. That's the end credit scene right there. Perfect. Another thing I want them to introduce is please introduce Black Cat. She is a perfect part, a perfect ploy for Spider-Man, just like a perfect sidekick for Spider-Man. If you don't want to use Daredevil and all those guys, fine by me. Use Black Cat instead, because Black Cat is one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, and she definitely could be like a big part of Spider-Man's mythos. And she could be like the one. She could be like the next, Spider-Man solo movie type girl. Black Cat. Bring her in and have her be a big part of Spider-Man's world, because he and her together is just perfect to me. I love the nerdy guy gets the girl type stuff, and it's just amazing. But that's my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching again, and I see you next time when I have another thought.